you doing this evening? I hope that where you happen to be, you're doing well and you're feeling happy. Oh, I just needed some water. I'm very, very thirsty right at the moment. It's rather warm in here at the moment, and I'm reluctant to open up a window because the weather's been so strange here lately. I don't know if it's going to be cold out or not. I was looking at Facebook earlier, and I showed, the memories from 10 years ago. This time it was 25 degrees Celsius. It is currently, nowhere near that, I can tell you. In Ottawa right now it is 7 degrees Celsius. So to say it's a little bit chilly is accurate, although it is warmer than it has been. Hello, Stephen. How you doing? I needed to clear my throat. Decompression time, eh? Had a long day. Wasn't particularly busy, which is why the day felt so long. It was really only just an 8-hour shift, but because it was quieter than normal for me today, it made it feel really long. And I know the next few days are going to be very busy, so they'll fly by, which is okay. So, before I get into the crux of this evening's topic, I don't know if you read the description there or not, but I got to thinking on the weekend about how depression can be, well, believe it or not, painful at times. And no one likes that, right? I'm just going to lower some lights here. That's a little bit more intimate, I think, eh? And we'll just lower this light level. And there we go. That's a little warmer, I think. I can adjust the image a bit. There we go. So yeah, beeswax candle is going, yes. I can see it a little bit better there in the top right-hand corner. So yeah, I was thinking this weekend about how depression can severely limit one's functioning capabilities in society, in that you can, well, not only sometimes does it knock you flat on your back and make you not want to get out of bed for days, which is very much a thing. It's very true. I may need a lozenge. I can't seem to clear my throat. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you just are incapable of getting out of bed. And then you can combine that with, and I'm not going through this right now, which is why I'm able to talk about it, I think. But you combine that, sheer exhaustion, with the worst parts of depression, with the self-loathing and the sense of despair and solitude and abandonment. Couple that with the, sheer exhaustion and inability to even get up and bathe oneself. I've been there before. I'm not there right now, thankfully. But it's painful, emotionally painful, and just turn that light down a bit. Emotionally and physically painful because of the fact that you're just struggling to get through the day. And no one likes a struggle. It's difficult when you're trying to think of reasons to hold on and carry on. And sometimes That's tough. Sometimes it's very, very tough. As I said, I'm not there right now, but I got to thinking about it on the weekend. And one of the things that still does affect me on a basis more often than I probably care to admit is the anxiety and how it can cause one to turn very much inward. And as a result, you neglect. Well, you neglect yourself. You neglect the simple social things that you used to just love to do. Just going out for a walk can sometimes be so incredibly difficult, and I'll force myself to do it when I realize, okay, I'm not in a good place. Let's get out of the house. But I find, although we're not isolated from due to the pandemic anymore, I think that probably played a bigger role in the mental health of a great number of people than we're even aware of right now. That time in isolation wasn't fun, and as a result, I think we've all have some lingering after effects from it. How they'll reveal themselves to us in the long term, I'm not really, really sure, but I am concerned that we're going to start to see the effects of it in the near future, and what does that mean? Well, I don't know. Everybody I talk to right now is just tired, just physically tired. Emotionally tired too, I think, in many respects. We're living in a very strange timeline. I don't have to tell you that. You're pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're well aware of that. And, well, what can I say? It's strange days indeed. Most peculiar, Mama, as the Beatles once sang. Was it the Beatles? No, that was John Lennon when he was a solo artist. And I'm not mixing it up with People Are Strange by the Doors, which was a whole different thing altogether. But we are living in difficult times, and I think people are so exhausted because we're working so hard just trying to keep going. I mean, both your occupation and working hard at everything else, that when you get a few moments of downtime, you just literally fall into bed from sheer exhaustion. And I've been feeling that lately. Like I said, I wasn't debilitated on the weekend to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. I woke up and my back was killing me, so I had plans to drive down to Toronto to meet with some colleagues and friends and participate in a promotional thing for the network, but there was no way I was going to be able to sit behind the wheel of an automobile for 5 hours. I was just in too much pain. And I don't even know why it happened. I just woke up and that's what it was. Sometimes getting older can be difficult. So, that's where I am. One of the things that I've found for dealing with depression is to, of course, talk about it when you can. Find when I'm in the depths of a depression, I cannot discuss it with anybody. I can just say, not doing good. Let's go for a beer or a coffee or a walk, or I'll just come sit on your porch. Might not even talk about anything, but in all likelihood, I will find something to talk about to get my mind off of what I'm drowning in at the time. At least that's what it works, for me. I agree with you, Mikhail. We didn't evolve to deal with the level of stress that we face daily. And I was getting a strange noise there. Oh, the fan on my computer just kicked on. Sorry about that. Stress and inflammation are very much linked to one another. And I don't actually have a lot of stress in my life. I have some stresses here and there, but I've learned to manage them, and to a certain degree, the medication helps greatly, of course. And I need to remember the fact that not only does the medication help, but with age and experience, you just learn how to put some things aside and think to yourself, well, sure, that moment in time when things are not fun can really, take a negative effect on you, but it doesn't mean that it's permanent. It's never permanent. It's only temporary. And having mental health issues like anxiety and depression, those two bastard love children lie to you. They tell you that it's permanent, that it's never going to get better, that things are always going to be the way they currently are. The problem is you're inclined to believe it, which is terribly, terribly sad, because it really does take a negative effect on a person. So, my way of coping, I think, has always been to get out of the house if I can, and talk to somebody about anything other than what's really affecting me at the moment. If I can muster up the energy to go to the gym and get a workout in, well, not only does that have the positive effects of exercise, but you also get a rush of endorphins from exercise. So your brain chemicals start to flow correctly. If you can muster up the energy, though, that's the problem, because sometimes the height of a depression, like I said, getting out of bed is a challenge. I did miss out on something this weekend that I'm sure would have been fun, but sometimes the universe, for want of a better term, will make a decision for you. Oftentimes you're left out of the decision process about what it is that is going to take place when you're trying to do something. I gotta shave. I got a 5 o'clock shadow. So yeah, things are weird sometimes. Like I said, I wanted to go to Toronto this weekend to meet up with some friends, some colleagues, and take part in an event. But unfortunately, like I said, I just physically wasn't capable of doing it. Sometimes that's just the way life goes, right? You gotta roll with those punches when you get them. So, although I was bummed out, I did spend all day Saturday getting a bunch of work done, so that worked out okay. And did a bunch of edits for a colleague, and then we did a live show at 5 p.m. about an election coming up in Alberta. But that's another channel and another story. Yeah, if you can muster up the strength to get to the gym when you're feeling down, and get some type of workout in, it will make you feel better. And I used to think, well, that was a crap workout, and somebody said, yeah, but it's better than no workout. And I thought, you know what, you're right. Even a bad workout's better than none. A bad day's better than no day. Every day above ground is a good day, even when they're tough. And sometimes it's hard to come to the realization when you're suffering, when you're in pain, because depression does hurt physically and emotionally, psychologically. It affects you on so many different levels, and we still don't even fully understand all the levels that it affects you on. It does affect your memory, because my memory is not what it once was. Now, I've also had multiple concussions from playing sports, so, there's that. And construction. You get hit in the head on a construction site. It happens a lot. So, yeah. Maybe my memory loss is due to both of those things. And I find it's my short-term memory. My long-term memories are still pretty solid, somebody will bring up a topic and I go, oh yeah, it just, it might take me a second for it to click in. But if you ask me what I did 2 weeks ago, I mean, other than this, of course, because we have a recording of it, but if you said, what did you do 2 weeks ago during that workday? Not a clue. Not a clue. I can't remember at all. I'll tell you what I did 5 years ago. Not on the exact date, of course, but one of those weird things. Yes, and you are correct, Stephen. Just getting up some days is an achievement. And I was, of the mindset that, and it was a terrible mindset to be in. If I didn't achieve something each day, and it had to be something big, then the day was a failure. Well, I've since come to learn that getting out of bed, going to work is an achievement when you are in a dark place. Not every achievement has to be earth-shatteringly monumental. Putting one foot in front of the other is sometimes all the achievement you need, and you have to celebrate that in your own little way. Like, hey, yesterday I couldn't get out of bed. Today I went for a walk. That's an achievement. And it should be celebrated as such. Again, you don't need to wear a medal or ask for a reward, of course, but it is an achievement, and you need to see it as such, because I used to see it as, well, it was a failure because all I did was do that. You have to learn to try and change your mindset and the manner in which you think. Because if you don't, well, I don't know what to tell you. Things can go real bad, real fast, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. I think one second. Terribly sorry about that. One of the things that I've tried to come to terms with over the years, and once in a very blue moon it will strike me the wrong way. I try and come to terms with the losses that I've had in my life because of mental health issues. I have years where things were just always dark and gloomy. And I would have, moments where things felt good, but there were literally years where I never felt good about anything. And I remember, I have a very distinct memory of watching an episode of, I think I'll say it was The Twilight Zone. And there was a scene in it where the actor Brent Spiner was playing a character, and he was trying to, they were deprogramming an individual who had been brainwashed. And as they're deprogramming him, he has him in the bathtub and he's spraying him down with the shower head. And he says, come on, who doesn't enjoy a good shower? It's one of the most rewarding, refreshing things in the world. Everybody loves to take a shower. And I remember thinking to myself at that moment, I can still feel that emotion right now, how I wish I knew what it was like to feel good about myself. How I wish I knew what it was like to be happy. How I wished at that moment in time what it was like to feel any amount of joy. I remember it as vividly as if it happened yesterday, and that's probably 25, 28 years ago. But I remember that. I remember taking a shower was effort. It was not an enjoyable thing. It was effort. It was work. Because I was so exhausted emotionally all the time, and physically, nothing was enjoyable. So oftentimes I would drown my sorrows in alcohol because I just didn't want to feel the pain anymore. I mean, it never took over my life. I'm not an alcoholic. I enjoy a drink. Not going to lie, I do. And there are times when my doctor will say, okay, we're going to augment your medication. No alcohol for 6 weeks. To which I reply, okay, no problem. It's that simple. It's not difficult for me. I can just say no anytime I want. And I do oftentimes. I will just go, I'm not in a good place right now, so I think I'm just going to abstain for the next little while. So, I don't have an addictive personality. I do have obsessive compulsive disorder, but that's due to the ADHD. Like, it's just a list of things, right? Oh. But as I was saying earlier, sometimes I get upset at all the time that I lost. And those are the moments when I have to remind myself, there's no sense in doing that, Paul, because you cannot change the past. You cannot turn back the clock. What's done is done. You have to accept it and move on. Which I've been really good at doing the last few years, honestly. But once in a blue moon, when the body chemistry is not a plain ball with, it's just not working properly, I will have those moments. Momentous moments. Momentous occasions, moments where I am upset at the lost time, the lost moments, the years of sadness and anger and depression, and self-loathing. And they were years of it. I remember some of my darkest times, and I don't know how I pulled through. I really don't. I think it was mind over matter. I don't know. Honestly, there are moments that I can think of where, when it was really dark, I just wanted the pain to stop. I wasn't about to unalive myself. That wasn't the question. That wasn't up for debate. I still don't know how I made it through, but I did. But it really was a case of I just need the pain to end. And I think that's what happens to people who are suffering from it for so long. They can't take it anymore. And I understand that. I know what that emotion's like. And I was at that point where I couldn't take it anymore, but I chose a different route, obviously. I decided to talk to my doctor and start a round of medication. I let him know. I said, I can't do this on my own anymore. I can't. Every day is a terrible struggle, and I was in a very dark place. But I pulled through, obviously. That was in February of 2020. Here we are 3 years later, and in a million different ways, my life has never been better. There's still room for improvements. I'm still working on myself. I'll be working on myself till I die, always trying to improve who I am as a person and how I behave in this world and how I act and react to other people. I still have a long ways to go before I don't know if I'll ever actually get there. It's a journey, right? Not a destination. I know we've all heard that 1,000,001 times, but it's true. I really do believe that with effort and, sure, a positive mental attitude, but sometimes that's just a lie. And I mean, I was lying to myself for years, trying to be positive, be positive, be positive. I can do this. No, I can't. I can't get out of bed. And, there was a long time where I didn't even know what was wrong with me. I wasn't diagnosed until the late 90s. And then I went on medication, and it did not go well, so I went off medication for 20 plus years. Now I'm on it, and if I have to stay on it forever, I will. Because it's worked for me very well this time. Yes, that's exactly it, Mikhail. regret is useless. You can't change it. You have to move forward. And I don't feel like I'd lost my prime, because as dark as it was, oftentimes I still enjoyed myself. I still had a good life. I was just in pain most of the time, so I would find ways to alleviate the pain. And I was pretty good at it too. Not going to get into it. Some things I keep to myself. But suffice to say, traveling the world, wine, women, and song helped. There were moments when I was in a relationship, before I haven't really had a serious one since the pandemic because, but I would always explain, who I was dating at the time, what I was going through. And I remember once I said to a woman I was dating who actually worked as a counselor, she looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Look, I realize that I'm not very present with you right now. It's because I'm struggling horribly. But I want to be here physically with you, even though I know that emotionally I'm not present. And I'm sorry for that. I'm doing the best I can. But I just wanted to spend time with you." And in that moment, I think she understood. The story goes on from there. And I'm not going to get into it. But I'm better off alone than with her. And I'll leave it at that. Again, some things I need to keep to myself. I'm pretty open here, and I will continue to be very open, but once in a blue moon, I'm gonna keep some things just for me. I'm sure you can understand that. Need some water. So, I will, I'm not going to do it today because I have neither the time nor am I prepared, because I needed to talk about this today. I felt it was important because I had thought a lot about it on the weekend, and I thought I should discuss it. How dark things can really get when you're in the depths of it, And wearing the mask of happiness. I used to put the mask on every day, and I'd get home from work and immediately want to take a nap because I had no energy. I had nothing left. The tank was empty. And some days that still happens. I mean, after all, I am only human. And the medication isn't a cure, it's a treatment. There's no cure, and I don't know that there ever will be one. At least not in my lifetime. Well, maybe when I'm very old. Maybe in 30 years. Who knows how far we can advance medical science between now and then. It's tough to say. With advanced computing technology and AI, maybe we'll figure out a way to cure a lot of things. I don't know. It'd be wonderful if we could cure depression now. And despite people thinking, well, the pharmaceutical chains would lose their income. Well, they're still going to be selling painkillers. Maybe you don't need antidepressants, but maybe you get migraines like I do all the time, so they're still going to have me as a customer. There's no way we can fix everything, but if we could fix depression and anxiety and eradicate it from the human race, man, we'd be in such a better world. We'd be in such a better world. I mean, honestly, think about how many people suffer from mental health issues on a daily basis and have no idea. None. Don't know why they feel the way that they do. I think it would end a lot of problems, to be honest with you. Anxiety is a liar, depression is a liar, and they lie to you and say things to you that make you think less of yourself. And everybody reacts to it differently. Me, I'd go have a couple of drinks, spend time with friends. Others take it out